Q&A Review, print speaking to the blind, celebrating 40 years of audio newspaper production. Welcome to this week's edition of the Kirkintilloch Herald podcast, recorded at the Bishopbriggs Media Centre by our amazing volunteers. You can get in touch with us via Facebook, Twitter or Instagram using @Q&A Review. That is @CUEANDREVIEW. You can also contact us directly by emailing information@QNreview.com. That is INFORMATION @CUEANDREVIEW.com, or by calling 0141 772 3976. That's 0141 772 3976.
This week's podcast, as published on Wednesday the 6th of November 2024, is read to you by volunteers Alan, Corey, Hunter, Ian, Jahan, Nikki and Philip. We hope you enjoy the podcast.
We have country's most inaccessible town centre by John A. McInnes. A campaigning organisation has Kirkintilloch in its sights as dangerous and inaccessible for blind people. Disability Equality Scotland, Glasgow Disability Alliance, Inclusion Scotland and disabled people-led organisations across Scotland are joining together for a fortnight of action and campaigning to demand justice and deliver equality for disabled people. Sandy Taylor from the National Federation of the Blind Scotland said, "Our organisations have been working with the Scottish Government for 20 months to develop a bold and action-focused disability equality plan to meet needs and priorities of disabled people during the cost of living crisis. Now, 20 months later, despite promises made, meetings attended, meetings with our respective members to get their input, and extensive numbers of hours spent, we are still waiting. There is no disability equality plan. No actions have been taken, and disabled people are at the back of the queue." This campaign is particularly relevant to disabled people in Kirkintilloch, as we have recently been subjected to the Regent Gardens development, which has rendered the surrounding area dangerous and inaccessible, due to unsafe stairways with irregular height steps and central handrails, together with lack of guidance paving, which is necessary for blind, deafblind, visually impaired and other disabled people to follow safely. Prior to this development, no meaningful consultation was undertaken with disability organisations, and social media, together with other online platforms, was used to bring it to the attention of the public, resulting in the majority of the community being unaware of what was happening. This lack of consultation has led to the Council's failure to make reasonable adjustments to enable the gardens and surrounding areas to be accessible to everyone. The Council has also failed to consider my request to have an independent accessibility audit conducted. Across the main street, pavements are impossible to navigate for blind, deafblind, visually impaired and other disabled pedestrians due to the proliferation of cafe furniture, which makes navigation impossible. It also prohibits disabled people supporting the local businesses. It has also been announced that the Council will not be reinstating the traffic lights at the Catherine Street junction due to lack of funding. While this comes as no real surprise, it is yet another failure of EDC councillors to honour a commitment made when they took office over 2 years ago. Kirkintilloch remains the only town in Scotland with a shared space scheme. This is a legacy from a previous administration which collaborated with Sustrans against the wishes of the vast majority of the people of the town, who feel that Sustrans have a duty to fund the reinstatement of the traffic lights. We now have what is considered to be the most inaccessible town in Scotland for disabled people. However, it is also loathed and avoided by drivers and pedestrians of all abilities, who consider it to be confusing and dangerous. East and Bartonshire Council were asked for comment, but failed to do so. That article was written by John A. McInnes.
This week in history. November 7, 1967, Henry Cooper beat Billy Walker and became the first and only boxer to win 3 Lonsdale belts outright. On this day last year, Royal Mail lost its 360-year-old monopoly in delivering parcels from post office branches after the Postal Service signed deals with rivals Every and DPD in the run-up to Christmas. November 8, 1960, John F. Kennedy defeated Richard Nixon to become US President. On this day last year, much to fans' disappointment, after 60 years, Nestle confirmed it would discontinue its nostalgic Karamak bars. November 9, 1979, a computer fault led to a full-scale nuclear alert in the United States. On this day last year, after 118 days, the Hollywood actors' strike finally drew to an end as a tentative deal between SAG-AFTRA and Hollywood Studios was agreed. November the 10th, 1982, Soviet leader Leonid Brezhnev died of a heart attack, aged 75. On this day last year, devastating floods in Somalia and surrounding countries left more than 300,000 people displaced from their homes. November 11th, 1987, Van Gogh's irises fetched £29.3 million at Sotheby's in New York. On this day last year, a portrait of the King would appear on the front page of the big issue, it was announced. And that was This Week in History, read by me, Ian McKenna.
Threats to Kill Made by Connor Gordon, court reporter. A man who threatened to kill his ex-lover's boyfriend has been fined £160. Craig Devine, 32, made a number of threatening texts and calls to Kieran Livingston, 32, at a property in Milton of Campsie on July 30th, 2023. Devine of Kirkintilloch, East Dunbartonshire, stated he was going to kill Mr. Livingston. The former open hotel worker also repeatedly phoned Mr. Livingston from a withheld number. Devine pleaded guilty at Glasgow Sheriff Court to behaving in a threatening or abusive manner. The court heard that Mr. Livingston was in a relationship with Devine's ex-girlfriend Nicole Gilmore, whom he was the subject of a non-harassment order from a previous conviction. Devine sent Mr. Livingston a message on Facebook which was described as being ranting in nature. The victim went on to receive a call from a withheld number, and Devine's voice was recognised by Miss Gilmore. Prosecutor Lauren Donnelly said, Devine made threats and was abusive to Mr. Livingston, saying, "When I see you in the street, I will kill you." He also said, "When I see you in the street, you are getting it." The threats continued, and Mr. Livingston hung up. A further 2 phone calls were made, which Mr. Livingston did not answer. The following day, he received a text message, which was stated to be threatening in nature, from Devine's number. The matter was reported, and Devine later attended a police office. He told officers, "I know what this was about. It was my bad. I messaged him the next day to apologise." Aaron Clark, defending, told the court that his client had a problem with alcohol misuse at the time of the offence. The lawyer added, "He woke up and realised what he did and apologised right away. He is remorseful for his behaviour, and he never intended to act on the threats." Sheriff Anna Reid stated to Devine, "You have taken significant steps to address the issues you were having at the time." A 1-year non-harassment order was made, restricting Devine's contact with Mr. Livingston. That article was written by Connor Gordon, and it was read by Jahan.
Winter deaths as recorded by Hunter MacDonald. There was a 10% fall in the number of people who died during winter last year, according to new figures from National Records of Scotland. There were 21,983 deaths registered between December 2023 and March 2024, 10% fewer than the previous winter, which had the highest number in 30 years. Compared to the non-winter months either side, the seasonal increase was 1,796 deaths. This is much lower than the previous winter, which saw a seasonal increase in deaths from flu and other respiratory conditions. This is the third lowest seasonal increase in the last 10 years. Philippa Haxton, Head of Vital Event Statistics at National Records of Scotland, said, "Whilst these new figures are lower than the previous winter, the number of winter deaths has generally been increasing."
ScotRail ticket office changes. Train operator ScotRail has announced that it will implement changes to some ticket office opening hours to deliver more visible customer support at stations, while reflecting changing travel and ticket purchasing patterns. The change to ticket office opening hours does not affect trains stopping at the station as set out in ScotRail's timetable, and no ticket offices will close. In 2021, the train operator published an assessment, the first of its kind since 1991, which showed a dramatic increase in the number of tickets bought on the ScotRail website, app, or at ticket machines, with a significant decrease in customers buying at ticket offices. In the past 10 years alone, there has been a 50% drop in ticket office sales. 16% of sales are via ticket offices. 90% of those sales are from just 20 stations. 20% of sales are via ticket vending machines at stations. 43% of tickets are online through the website or the app. Following a consultation by the independent passenger watchdog Transport Focus, ScotRail will introduce the following. 12 ticket offices will see opening hours increase. 54 ticket offices will see opening hours reduce. There will be no change to the opening hours at the remaining 77 staffed stations. The detail of the changes can be found online at the ScotRail website at https://www.scottrail.co.uk/media/42460/download?inline.
NHS survey. NHS Greater Glasgow and Clyde is committed to improving access to healthcare by offering more virtual consultations where clinically appropriate. Virtual appointments via telephone or the Near Me video platform can have many benefits, including saving patients time and money by reducing their need to travel. They offer greater flexibility by allowing people to attend appointments from the comfort of their own home using a smartphone, tablet or computer. They want to hear what you think about virtual consultations and how they are described and your experiences of using them. Your feedback is important and will help guide the development of virtual services, ensuring the information shared is accurate and effective. The survey only takes 5 to 10 minutes to complete and can be found online. Labour slammed by Pam Gossell. Scottish Conservative and Unionist MSP for West Scotland Pam Gossell has slammed Labour's family farm tax announced in their budget. Pam says the changes by Chancellor Rachel Reeves to agricultural property relief and business property relief will deliver a devastating blow to family farms in the west of Scotland. The Conservatives have now launched a petition at stopthefarmtax.com, urging Labour to U-turn, and Pam has called on everyone to sign it, send Labour the strongest possible message. She said Labour have shamefully broken their promise to farmers after DEFRA Secretary Steve Reid said last year his party had no plans to change agricultural property relief.
New role for Prof Jan. A report by John A. McInnes. Professor Jan Gardner Chief Executive of NHS Lanarkshire, has been appointed as the new Chief Executive of NHS Greater Glasgow and Clyde. Jan will take over from current Chief Executive Jane Grant, who is retiring after more than 40 years' service. Having started her career as a clinical pharmacist training in both NHS Lanarkshire and NHS Greater Glasgow and Clyde, Jan worked through progressively senior roles in her professional field. She then progressed through a number of wider hospital and healthcare management roles, including Deputy Chief Executive and Chief Operating Officer in NHS Fife, before being appointed as a Chief Executive initially with NHS Golden Jubilee and then in December 2022 with NHS Lanarkshire. Cabinet Secretary for Health and Social Care Neil Gray said, "I welcome the appointment of Professor Gardner as Chief Executive of NHS Greater Glasgow and Clyde. She is an experienced leader within Scotland's health service, and I am confident she will make a positive impact in her role, helping the board to deliver positive outcomes and high-quality treatment of care for the people of Greater Glasgow and Clyde." Dr. Leslie Thompson, KC, Chair of NHS Greater Glasgow and Clyde, said, "I am delighted that Professor Jan Gardner will be our new Chief Executive. Jan has vast experience and expertise in healthcare management and a proven track record in working in collaboration to deliver innovation and new ways of working within two health boards. As we look to the future, Jan has the vision, skills and experience to lead the organisation to deliver the best possible health and care for our patients." Professor Jan Gardner said, "I am delighted to be appointed Chief Executive of NHS Greater Glasgow and Clyde at what is a truly exciting time in the NHS as we work to reform health and social care services. As someone with a clinical background, it is a privilege to be joining an organisation with such an outstanding reputation for clinical excellence. NHS Greater Glasgow and Clyde has so much capability within its fantastic staff and services who deliver the best of care to its population." That report was by John A. McInnes and read by me, Nikki.
First Bus is Giving Back, written by John A. McInnes. To celebrate the spirit of community and kindness, First Bus has launched its Acts of Kindness campaign in Glasgow throughout the month of November. Aligning perfectly with World Kindness Day on November 13th, First Bus is extending this heartfelt gesture for an entire month to give back to their loyal community. Beginning on Monday, November 4th, First Bus will be partnering with local businesses to spread joy and appreciation throughout the city. Each day, 50 exclusive items will be available for redemption using the special code First Bus Freebie. This initiative not only supports local businesses, but raises a sense of unity among residents. Throughout the campaign, First Bus will collaborate with a variety of local businesses to bring a diverse range of treats and surprises to residents. Glasgow locals can enjoy a caffeine fix from Sexy Coffee, hold on to summer with minted ice cream, and indulge in a taste of Lisbon at Pastéis Lisboa for the city's sweet-toothed. Each business will be running this activation across a certain week, offering 50 free items a day from Wednesday through to Sunday. Week commencing November 4th, Sexy Coffee will be offering a choice of cappuccino or latte. Week commencing November 11th, Minted Ice Cream will be giving away single tubs. Week commencing November 18th, Glasgow Warriors will give away 50 match tickets. Week commencing November 25th, Pastéis Lisboa will be offering a pastel de nata, a loved Lisbon delicacy. Graham McFarlane, Commercial Director at First Bus Scotland, said, "We are thrilled to bring acts of kindness to Glasgow throughout the month of November. We understand how small acts of kindness can make a significant impact within the community, but also just make someone's day that bit better." First Bus invites everyone to join in the celebration and take part in the month-long journey of kindness. To stay updated on participating businesses and daily offers, follow First Bus on social media or visit its website. Written by John A. McInnes, read by Alan Todd.
La Dolce Vita festive date. Edinburgh-based swing band La Dolce Vita Swing Collective have announced their festive-themed Bishopbriggs date at the Folk Theatre. As the festive season gets underway, Saturday, December the 21st, has been announced as the Christmas cabaret show for La Dolce Vita Swing Collective at the Folk Theatre in the town's Kenmure Avenue. Bandleader Tony Delicata told us the Cool Yule series of shows have become a tradition in certain venues and they're always special shows. In line this year they will be heading to Edinburgh, Peebles, Kingsford-Cawdey as well as Bishopbriggs. He said no matter where we play, our audiences, both young and old, love getting up close and personal with the band and singing and dancing. Especially when it comes to our Cool Yule Christmas, where the show is packed full of Rat Pack Christmas crackers and Phil Spector festive classics. For tickets, visit https://event-details/Fort/Theatre-Cool-Yule-Christmas-Show.
New role for Prof. Jan. A report by John A. McInnes. Professor Jan Gardner, Chief Executive of NHS Lanarkshire, has been appointed as the new Chief Executive of NHS Greater Glasgow and Clyde. Jan will take over from current Chief Executive Jane Grant, who is retiring after more than 40 years' service. Having started her career as a clinical pharmacist training in both NHS Lanarkshire and NHS Greater Glasgow and Clyde, Jan worked through progressively senior roles in her professional field. She then progressed through a number of wider hospital and healthcare management roles, including Deputy Chief Executive and Chief Operating Officer in NHS Fife, before being appointed as a Chief Executive initially with NHS Golden Jubilee and then in December 2022 with NHS Lanarkshire. Cabinet Secretary for Health and Social Care Neil Gray said, "I welcome the appointment of Professor Gardner as Chief Executive of NHS Greater Glasgow and Clyde. She is an experienced leader within Scotland's health service, and I am confident she will make a positive impact in her role, helping the board to deliver positive outcomes and high-quality treatment of care for the people of Greater Glasgow and Clyde." Dr. Leslie Thompson, KC, Chair of NHS Greater Glasgow and Clyde, said, "I am delighted that Professor Jan Gardner will be our new Chief Executive. Jan has vast experience and expertise in healthcare management and a proven track record in working in collaboration to deliver innovation and new ways of working within two health boards. As we look to the future, Jan has the vision, skills and experience to lead the organisation to deliver the best possible health and care for our patients." Professor Jan Gardner said, "I am delighted to be appointed Chief Executive of NHS Greater Glasgow and Clyde at what is a truly exciting time in the NHS as we work to reform health and social care services. As someone with a clinical background, it is a privilege to be joining an organisation with such an outstanding reputation for clinical excellence. NHS Greater Glasgow and Clyde has so much capability within its fantastic staff and services who deliver the best of care to its population." That report was by John A. McInnes and read by me, Nikki. ASDA makes donations, a report by John A. McInnes. ASDA's charity, the ASDA Foundation, has awarded over £250,000 worth of grants to 270 food banks across the UK, including 31 in Scotland. Grants awarded are between £500 and £1,000 and are aimed at supporting food banks with their essential needs. Funding can be used by the awarded groups to purchase food supplies, basic hygiene items, and contribute to storage and fuel delivery costs of running the service. One of the successful groups to receive funding of £1,000 is the Courtyard Pantry enterprise in Maryhill. Its aim is to reduce the effects of poverty in Glasgow using food as a vehicle for change. Dale Todd, Managing Director at Courtyard Pantry Enterprise, said, "Funding from the ASDA Foundation will make a massive difference to the work we do in the local community. Food insecurity in the area we work in has unfortunately trebled in recent years, and demand for affordable food has significantly increased as a result. Support to help us meet that demand will make a big difference to the community in which we serve." Ryan Rooney, Community Champion at ASDA Maryhill, said, "I'm delighted to have worked with the Courtyard Pantry enterprise to help secure its grant of £1,000 from the ASDA Foundation. I know this money will make a massive difference to them over the coming months, especially as we go into the colder winter season when demand is much higher for these important services. The team do an amazing job for the community, sorting out food parcels all year round to meet the needs of local people, so I'm pleased to be able to support them through the ASDA Foundation Grants Initiative." Carol Doyle, Chair of the ASDA Foundation, said, "Food banks and local food organisations provide support to some of the most vulnerable people in our communities when they are facing hard times. We know that they are a lifeline service to many, often facing high demand with the added pressure of shortages in donations and volunteers. We hope this ASDA Foundation funding can support their needs in the final months of the year." That report was by John A. McInnes.
Gart Corner Primary School report card. A primary school and early years centre in Kirkintilloch has received a positive report from inspectors. Education Scotland wrote to families of children attending Gart Corner Primary School and Early Years Centre, having awarded ratings of good for the primary and very good for the nursery class. The inspection was carried out in September, and areas highlighted for their good performance with a positive culture of learning, an enthusiastic approach to professional learning, the confident, respectful and eager attitudes of children in both school and nursery, and the strong practice in numeracy and literacy. Aspects recommended for improvement were also discussed. These included developing ways children learn about elements of the curriculum and enhancing quality assurance processes for staff, such as the sharing of good practice. There is no need for more visits in relation to this inspection.
Your chance to have a say on development plan. Report by John A. McInnes. Residents, businesses, landowners and road users are being invited to have their say on the Westerhill Development Road in Bishopbriggs. As part of its requirements under the Planning Scotland Act, East Dunbartonshire Council is carrying out the first of two pre-application public consultations for the Westerhill Development Road, previously referred to as Phase 5 of the Bishopbriggs Relief Road, proposed for the land to the north of Westerhill Road. You can find out more and provide your views online between Friday November the 8th and Friday November 29 by visiting www.eastdunbarton.gov/WDR-2024. That's www.eastdunbarton.gov.uk/WDR-2024. A public drop-in session is also being held in the War Memorial Hall, Balmildy Road, Bishopbriggs on November 11th between 5pm and 8pm, where you can view information, ask questions and provide feedback. A second pre-application public consultation, including another drop-in event, will take place in February 2025, prior to the planning application being submitted. The road is part of the Council's £34.88 million Place and Growth programme, supported by the UK and Scottish Governments through the Glasgow City Region City Deal. Public consultation took place in 2023 on options for the final phase of the Bishopbriggs Relief Road, now known as the Westerhill Development Road. Councillor Gordon Lowe, leader of East Dunbartonshire Council, said, "It's important that plans for the Westerhill Development Road are informed by feedback from local residents, businesses, groups and stakeholders. The aim is to help unlock key strategic sites in the Westerhill regeneration area, potentially boosting the economy, while reducing the non-essential traffic in Bishopbriggs town centre, helping to alleviate air quality issues. Please have your say, either online or drop into the public meeting." The City Deal project is taking an integrated approach to improve infrastructure within East Dunbartonshire with two main elements: Bishopbriggs town centre regeneration, delivery of the Westerhill Development Road and the master plan for Westerhill. The overall completion date is the end of 2026. And the article was written by John A. McInnes.
Act fast if you suspect that it's stroke symptoms. A report by Julie Curry. A new FAST campaign has been launched to highlight awareness of stroke signs and symptoms and encourage fast action when contacting emergency services. The campaign is a joint initiative between charity Chest, Heart and Stroke Scotland and the Scottish Ambulance Service. FAST is a mnemonic that stands for F, face, A, arm, S, speech, T, time. It illustrates 3 of the common signs of stroke and highlights the importance of acting quickly to call emergency services. YouGov polling commissioned by CHSS revealed that 39% of adults in Scotland were not familiar with FAST. This rises to 53% for those aged 18 to 24. With almost 11,000 people in Scotland experiencing a stroke each year, and an estimated 136,000 people living with the effects of stroke, raising awareness of the signs and the need to take immediate emergency action when someone is experiencing a stroke is essential to improve outcomes and save lives. The public awareness campaign is aimed at increasing the correct identification of stroke symptoms and assessment for hyperacute stroke treatments for those who require them. Jane Claire Judson, CHSS CEO, said, "Stroke affects thousands of Scots of all ages each year. We support many of those affected by stroke to live full lives. We hear firsthand from those we work with the importance of quick action and access to treatment when symptoms appear." By launching our FAST campaign, we want to empower the Scottish public to act quickly and confidently if they think they or someone else is experiencing stroke. The quicker the signs and symptoms are recognised, the quicker the phone call is made, the more likely we can save people from significant life-changing disabilities and get them the help they desperately need. Acting FAST could save your life or the life of someone you love. The campaign also aims to support health boards and partners in their responsibility to promote FAST by providing up-to-date free resources and opportunities to promote it. Michael Dixon, Scottish Ambulance Service Chief Executive, said, "When we receive a 999 call for someone suffering from a stroke, everyone within the Scottish Ambulance Service will act FAST. From our call handlers to our frontline crew, we work together to reduce time spent on scene to ensure the patient is transported to hospital as soon as possible. We need readers' help to identify stroke by doing the FAST test and by calling 999 as quickly as possible. Prior to the ambulance crew arrival, you can help by ensuring they can gain access to the patient quickly, by having them ready to leave, and securing pets within another room. Please tell the attending crew any information about what happened and the patient's history and medication. This helps us to get to the hospital and potential treatments quicker. CHSS is Scotland's largest health charity supporting people with chest, heart and stroke conditions to live their lives to the full. It provides a free advice line, peer support groups and health checks in local communities. To view the new FAST advert and find out more, visit www.chss.org.uk/FAST. That report was by Julie Curry.
Family announcements. Deaths. Gilmore, William Billy. Peacefully at Glasgow Royal Infirmary on October 29th, 2024. Beloved husband of Anne, a much-loved dad of Alan, Andrew and Lorna. An adored grandad. Funeral service will take place on Monday, November 11th, 2024 at St David's Memorial Park Church, Kirkintilloch, for 12:15 p.m. Thereafter to Canner Cemetery for 1:30 p.m. Irvine, Gordon. Suddenly but peacefully on October 27th, 2024, aged 61, surrounded by his close family. Loving partner of Lorraine, much-loved dad to Michelle, and doting papa to Angus and Douglas. Funeral service at Falkirk Crematorium on Friday, November 8th at 1 p.m. In lieu of flowers, the family kindly asks for donation to Chest, Heart and Stroke Scotland.
Westminster View by Susan Murray MP. New funding must be used to help local communities. Last week saw the Chancellor deliver her first budget of the new Parliament. In it, Rachel Reeves announced that Scotland will get an additional £3.4 billion in funding via the Barnett formula, the equation that determines the block grant given to the Scottish Government from the UK Government. While the new money is welcome, it is now important that the Scottish Government uses this additional funding properly to address issues that are important to our community. In Kirkintilloch and across Eastern Bartonshire, our school buildings need urgent attention. Some of the reports of falling ceilings and mushrooms growing in damp have been deeply serious and have caused concern to parents, pupils and families. Enough is enough, and now that the Scottish Government is assured of a significant funding boost, we deserve to see the promised school buildings delivered so that our pupils can learn and study properly. Kirkintilloch also boasts a brilliant range of small businesses who provide world-class goods, services and create jobs for local people. They will have seen the Chancellor announce a hike in national insurance contributions for employers from April the 1st. The reality is that making employees more expensive will make it harder for local businesses, who may want to expand to provide jobs. This, in turn, means that fewer people will be in work, resulting in lost income tax. The last time local businesses, many of whom are still reeling from the pandemic and the economic shocks brought to us by the previous UK Government and poor decisions by the Scottish Government, is for it to be more expensive to hire people. Local people looking for new opportunities needed even less. Liberal Democrats welcomed some of the measures in the Chancellor's first budget, and we understand that there are difficult decisions that must be made to get the public finances back in order. These decisions, however, have local impacts in communities across the country, and Mid and Bartonshire, including Kirkintilloch, will feel the effects of Rachel Reeves' decisions. As your MP, I will continue to push both of Scotland's governments to get the best deal for our community. And that was the Westminster View, written by Susan Murray MP. This week's Kirkintilloch and Bishopbriggs Herald letters page, as published on Wednesday the 6th of November. Let's talk. Please send your letters via email to kirkyscotland@jnscotland.co.uk. That's KIRKYHERALD @JNSCOTLAND.co.uk and write letters in the subject field. Please keep letters to a maximum of 300 words. Letters cannot be published without a name and postal address. Also include a daytime phone number if possible. We reserve the right to edit any letter. Government that cares. Sir, I'd like to respond to the letter in last week's edition regarding the above subject. The new benefit spoken about, pension age and disability payment, is not a new benefit developed by the Scottish Government. It is, in fact, a payment which has been transferred to the Scottish Government from the UK Government and was formerly called attendance allowance. People in Scotland already in receipt of this are now automatically paid under the Scottish Government, and for new claims it has been rolled out in pilot areas. It is a pity the SNP Government hadn't been as caring with the winter fuel allowance for Scottish pensioners, but they chose to follow this new Labour Government and cut it off from many pensioners whom, I am sure, would have been very grateful for any extra help towards the higher gas and electricity bills the winter brings. Yours, etc., M. Bain. Address supplied. Working person? Sir, now that Keir Starmer has defined what he thinks is a working person, it would be interesting to establish how many Labour MPs qualify as a working person under that definition. Yours, etc., R. Hunter, by email. Check your kidneys. Sir, I'm writing to encourage your readers to check their kidneys, because we found out that almost 3 in 10 people in Scotland, 29%, do not know the leading signs of chronic kidney disease, an illness that has no cure and affects 1 in 10 people in the UK. There has never been a better time to start a national conversation about kidney health, as the earlier someone is identified as having a chronic kidney disease, more can be done to prolong their kidney health and, ultimately, avoiding progressing to kidney failure, which requires dialysis or transplant. As part of our national Bloody Amazing Kidneys awareness campaign, we're encouraging people to take a few minutes to see if they might be at the risk of developing kidney disease. You can check at www.kidneycareuk.org/kidneyhealthchecker-later. Yours, etc. Claire Madison, Patient Support and Advocacy Manager, Scotland. SNP collapse. Sir, the SNP cause has collapsed. The people of Scotland have witnessed the demise of this extremist party and most of its key figures. They took a severe beating at the Westminster general election, and if a regional election was held now at Holyrood, their fate as a party would be sealed. Also, it seems quite likely that they will lose the support of their erstwhile allies, the Greens. We must surely ask ourselves, how stable is the Scottish economy, and what sort of sacrifices are the people of Scotland going to have to make in all sectors between now and May the 6th, 2026, when we will, I am certain, see the demise of the Scottish nationalists from any position of power at Holyrood. Lest any of the more fervent supporters of the Scottish nationalist cause deem these comments to be in any way disloyal to Scotland, may I remind them that this concept of a Scottish executive was initiated not by any members of any independent-related organisation, but by a group of Labour and Liberal supporters / politicians based within the precincts of Glasgow University. Later on in this revolutionary concept, it might be construed that the Scottish nationalists slipped in by the back door. Yours, etc., Robert I.G. Scott, by email. Relationship support. Sir, as children grow, it's only natural for them to explore relationships, which can be challenging not only for them, but also for their families and those responsible for their care. Recognising negative behaviours in relationships can be difficult, especially as young people take their first steps into this new territory. The NSPCC's Childline Service is available 24/7 for young people seeking support regarding their experiences. This month, the NSPCC has introduced a new suite of digital resources aimed at educators and professionals working with young people in secondary schools throughout Scotland. The It's Not Love initiative features engaging, age-appropriate films and comprehensive lesson plans designed to support discussions about healthy and unhealthy relationships. This programme helps young people identify concerning behaviours, equipping them with the knowledge to navigate potential risks. To learn more, visit learning.nspcc.org/research-skills/its-not-love. Yours, etc., Carla Malseed, NSPCC Scotland. And that was this week's Let's Talk, as published on Wednesday the 6th of November.
Crafting a Map of Local Retailers by Julie Curry. Craft Week Scotland encourages shoppers to support craft makers around the country by visiting their nearest craft retailer from November 11th to the 17th. This year's event will highlight the craft retail destinations where shoppers can buy goods made by Scotland's contemporary craft community. With over 2,500 makers and craft businesses scattered across the country, local retailers have become key supporters. They enable visitors to discover craft talent on their doorstep and buy pieces of exceptional quality, from furniture to jewellery, ceramics to textiles, glass and more. With this in mind, a new map has been created on Google Maps, highlighting independent retailers all over the country. It aims to allow craft enthusiasts to find the widest possible range of contemporary crafts made in Scotland, which are local to them. The campaign also aims to support the vital work and opportunities craft retail businesses provide for Scotland's makers. Many of Scotland's makers are inspired by the country's beautiful landscape. Others reimagine traditional crafts for the 21st century, while many more embrace the opportunities for making with new technologies. Sustainable practice, material provenance and technical excellence are key themes. Irene Kernan, Craft Scotland Director, said, "As shoppers this festive season search for more meaningful gifts, Scotland's craft retailers are the perfect destination to discover beautiful objects handmade by skilled makers." Makers play a key role in boosting local economies across Scotland, and vital to this are the retailers who provide an outlet for this exceptional talent, whether in jewellery, furniture making, textiles, ceramics or other homewares. Craft retail destinations provide a vital platform for the nation's makers, and their ability to nurture and to support contemporary craft make them must-visit destinations. I really recommend that you seek out these spaces and discover all that Scottish craft has to offer. For more information on Craft Week Scotland, visit the Craft Scotland website. Written by Julie Curry.
Life expectancy has increased slightly. Life expectancy in Scotland increased slightly for both males and females according to new figures from National Records of Scotland. The life expectancy for 2021 to 2023 is 80.9 years for females and 76.9 years for males. Compared to the estimate for 2020 to 2022, this is an increase of about 14 weeks for males and almost 7 weeks for females. The national figures are still down on where they were prior to the pandemic, and Scotland continues to have lower life expectancy than England and Wales. NRS statistician Philippa Haxton said, "Life expectancy peaked in 2012 to 2014 and plateaued until 2017 to 2019. Thereafter there was a fall. Life expectancy varies across local authority areas and is strongly linked to deprivation. It is highest in East Renfrewshire, one of the least deprived parts of the country, and lowest in the city of Glasgow, the most deprived."
Good day to you. It's Philip here from Q and Review, reading the church news under the district news of the Kirkintilloch Herald. First of all, we go to Home Church, which is on Lammermuir Road, Kirkintilloch. They also have a sister church in the East End in Carnmile. And the text they have for today is, "Jesus Christ is the same yesterday and today and forever." Amen to that. And remember that Remembrance Day is on Sunday the 10th of November. At 9:30 and 11:30 am, worship services will be followed by refreshments. A warm welcome awaits you at either service, which will be identical. Also Sunday school and creche are available at both services. And also in the Home Church in Carnmile, the worship service there are 10 am and 6:30 pm. Home radio is also available every day, 24/7. And on Tuesdays, they have the engine room on biblical teaching. Tuesday as well at 2:30 till 4 pm, they have a Bible study on Judges, which is on Zoom. Wednesday have the boiler room for prayer and Bible study, except last Wednesday, which is a prayer meeting. Thursday, it's football. Friday, craft and coffee, 10 till 12 noon. Friday as well, the Youth Fellowship meets at 7:30 pm. If you want to know more, check out their Facebook, their Instagram, and of course the Home Church website for the latest information for Carnmile and Kirkintilloch. Now to Bishopbriggs and St James Church, which is in Hilton Road, Bishopbriggs, and their minister there is Paul Watson. There is a communion service in the chapel on Thursday, November the 7th, and on Sunday, November the 10th, at 9 a.m. and 10:30 a.m. with hymns in the church. Everyone is welcome to come along to any of these services. Do stay on for tea, coffee and fellowship afterwards. The 10:30 service and Sunday service on Tuesday. That's interesting, a Sunday service on Tuesday. November the 12th, 1 till 3 p.m, Tuesday club meeting. Lunch club followed by a talk by Jane Monroe on her recent trip to Vietnam. Appropriate food will be served, as always. £3 donation at the door. All are welcome. There are also other virtual services and groups. For up-to-date information, yes, check out their social media. Facebook, St James the Less Bishopbriggs, their website, all the W's, St James Bishopbriggs.org.uk. And now to Lenzie and Lenzie Union Parish Church. A joint Remembrance Sunday service will be on November the 12th at 10:50 at Lenzie Old Parish Church and led by the Reverend Julie Harty. A short service will be held at Woodley at 2 p.m. The meeting place opens for tea, coffee and home baking every Wednesday 10 a.m. till 12 noon in the new hall. Everyone from the very young to the young at heart is welcome to attend. We also have a good selection of greetings cards and second-hand books for sale. Lenzie Union Bridge Club is on Wednesdays in the Old Hall, 1 till 3 p.m. Come play this classic game. Stay curious, which is Tri-Alpha, and explore the Christian faith. And if you've never explored the Christian faith and you're interested in discovering more, then why don't you go along to the Tri-Alpha course, which is on each session begins with a big question of life, faith and purpose, starting in October, which is started already, and this is now November. Wednesday afternoons from 1:30 p.m. in the new hall, and all are welcome. Visual presentation, light refreshments and discussion. Contact Claire Robertson on email at alpha.lenzie@gmail.com, or you can contact her on our mobile 07789 425547 for more details. The Coffee Pot, another coffee morning, opens on Fridays for tea, coffee, home baking, a warm, friendly atmosphere for all ages. Messy Church is on Saturday, November the 9th, between 4 p.m. and 5 p.m. for a fun-filled hour for the whole family. For further information, check out the website lenziunion.org. And then again in Kirkintilloch Church of God at Regent Hall, Regent Street on Sunday, there will be a short Bible message at 11:30 a.m. The speaker will be Rodney Johnson. A warm welcome awaits everyone, and it's extended to all on Wednesday. Coffee Corner is open from 12 noon till 2 p.m. for home baking and coffee. Join our friends and neighbours for a coffee and a chat. Everyone is welcome. For up-to-date and further information on their services, check out www.regenthall.org. And their text for today, it says, the Bible says, this is how we know what love is. Jesus Christ laid down his life for us. And you can find that in 1 John chapter 3. Kenmure Parish Church, this Sunday is our service of remembrance. Please note that the service will begin at 10:50 in order to include our act of remembrance. The service will be led by Mr. Isaac McCleary. Visitors to the area will be made welcome when they join us for our Sunday morning worship. You can attend either in person or online on our YouTube channel. The service on YouTube can be watched live as it is streamed or later at a time that suits you. You can find our channel by simply searching Kenmure Bishopbriggs on YouTube. Yes, and there will be a period of fellowship following the service in the hall when teas, coffees, juice and biscuits are served. The most up-to-date details of all our groups that are currently running may be found on the WhatsApp section of their website, kenmure-church.co.uk. Find them on Facebook, Kenmure Parish Church, or join their WhatsApp group. And their email is kenmurechurch@icloud.com. Back to Lenzie again. Lenzie Old Parish Church this time. They have a joint service at 10:50 conducted by Julie Harty. A creche is available for children under 3, and there will be an act of remembrance at Woodley at 2 p.m. Come and Sing Together is on Tuesdays, November 11th at 1:15 p.m. till 2:45. The dementia-friendly singing group meets in the church hall. A warm welcome awaits all, and of course a cuppa Yes, let's not forget the cuppa and a delicious home baking. Please feel free to come along and sing. The Quilt and Craft group meet every Wednesday, 10 till 12 noon in the session room. Keen on sewing, knitting, crocheting, or just a beginner, all are welcome. And then again, there's a Scottish country dancing every Thursday evening, 7:30 till 9:30. Enjoy fun and fitness. St Andrew's Day Coffee Afternoon, Saturday, November the 30th, is on from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. in the Church Hall. Tickets are £3, and for this £3 you get tea, coffee and home baking. Great. And then back to... where are we? Back to Kirkintilloch, that is. Yes, forgot where I was there. St David's Memorial Park Church. This Sunday, November the 10th, is the annual Remembrance Day Parade, and attending will be the Deputy Lord Lieutenant of Dunbartonshire, Mark Billington, as well as members of our local council and community council. Could people please be seated in the church by 10:15 in order that the service can start on time at 10:30 p.m. No, a.m. After the service, there will be a march past ending at the War Memorial in Peel Park at approximately 12:15 p.m. Our uniformed organisations will hold a smaller service at the War Memorial in the church garden immediately after the service. And then St Mary's Parish Church there in Kirky. The service on Sunday, November the 10th is a joint service which will be held at St David's Memorial Park, beginning at 10:30am. After the service, there will be a short time of remembrance at the War Memorial in Peel Park, which I've just read for St David's, but I'll continue reading St Mary's after the service. Yes, on Saturday, also on November the 9th, the annual craft fair will take place in St Mary's Church Halls. There will be a variety of stalls, and it will be a good opportunity to buy those early Christmas presents. There will be a cafe running all day with tea, coffee and cake, available from 10am and from 11:30am. Soup and a bacon roll will also be available until 2pm. On Wednesday, November the 6th, we will also be holding our monthly open doors. Tea, coffee and biscuits will be available all day from 12:30pm. There will be an organ recital by Mr David Burns, the church organist. And now we move to Milton of Campsie. The Messenger magazine is now being put together and will be ready to go through letterboxes on the first Sunday in Advent. Preparations are now being made for Mary and Joseph's Advent journey. Posada, don't know what that means, but Posada. Beginning on December the 1st, they will stay overnight in 12 Milton of Campsie homes before visiting Lennoxtown. Sheep are being knitted with a view to leaving one at each home. Their final destination will be the Christingle service at Campsie Church on Christmas Eve, after which hopefully they'll visit our church day service along with baby Jesus. And the deadline for Operation Christmas Child boxes is the 10th of November. And the toddler group will also meet on Mondays at 9:45am, hobbies clubs at 2pm, badminton 7:30pm, time to pray on Wednesday is at 7pm. Tickets are now on sale for the Guild concert on Wednesday, November the 6th at 7:30pm. With Kilsyth Ham in the group, BB Anchor and junior sections will meet at 6:15pm on Fridays. Now Bishopbriggs and Springfield Cambridge Church, their Remembrance Sunday, is November the 10th. Morning service worship will be conducted by Ian Taylor in the sanctuary, and at the earlier time of 10:45, an offering will be taken during the service. There will be a retiring collection in aid of the Earl Haig Fund. Tea, coffee will be served in the Cameron Hall after morning worship. Come and enjoy the fellowship. The Sunday school meets in room 2, where creche facilities are also available. Morning worship is also being live streamed on the Springfield Cambridge Church YouTube channel. A link to this can be found on the Springfield Cambridge Church website, or the springfieldcambridge.org.uk and Facebook page, where up-to-date information about events and church organisations can also be found. And there will be a vestry hour, that's when you can come a wee blather with the minister, on Wednesday, November the 6th at 10am. For anyone who would like to speak with the minister, there will be a short weekly service of worship in the Springfield Chapel on Wednesday, November the 6th from 11:10 to 11:30 a.m, followed by tea and coffee in the Hall of Fellowship. The Guild is inviting the congregation to join them in supporting the Eastern Battenshire Food Bank warehouse by bringing donations and leaving them in the cupboard in the cloakroom. A list is attached to the cupboard identifying specific items requested. The ticket office, yes, the ticket office for the Springfield Cambridge Festival Christmas concert is open at Cadder South Hall on Wednesdays and Fridays between 10 and 12 noon. Materials for the December edition of The Record, our church magazine, will be sent to the editor by Sunday, November the 17th. Magazine at springfieldcambridge.org.uk. And now to Torrance Parish Church. The morning service is in person at 10:30 a.m, conducted by the Reverend Stuart Evan. During the service, the youngsters meet together in Creche, Junior Church and Frog, which stands for Friends of God, I believe. And to join the service online, click on, yes, all the W's, torranceparishchurch.online.church. The cafe is open every Wednesday, 9 till 12 noon, for teas, coffees and delicious homemaking. Why not come and taste for yourself? The Boys Brigade meet on Wednesdays from 7 till 9, P7 to S6 years old. That's primary school 7 and S6. There you go. I've educated myself. That's secondary school. To find out about regular weekly activities, check the website or for what's on at www.tpc.org.uk. I like that website. It means I don't have to type out Torrance Parish Church. You just type tpc.org.uk. Yeah, good forward thinking there. And then to Cadder Parish Church, beside the canal. For full details, please see our website, all the W's, cadderchurch.org. And I think that should be a UK, but it's not there for me to read. The Remembrance Service is this Sunday. The service will be led by the Reverend John McGregor. Music is led by Javier Jose. And Cadder kids and Creche meet at the church at the start of the service and then go to the North Hall. All are welcome. Our church services are videoed and recorded and are available from the church website. Tea and coffee served after each service. Coffee shop is open from Tuesdays and Thursdays, 10 till 12 noon, and Friday 10 a.m. till 2 p.m, and on Friday 10 a.m. till 12 noon at the South Hall Food Bank. Bring your donations of food to the church or the coffee shop. Early fellowship in the South Hall Chapel at 9:30 on Tuesday and Thursday and on Zoom. Messy play for preschool children in the South Hall Tuesday and Thursday from 10:30 a.m. Yes, and the Girls Brigade on Tuesdays from 6:15 p.m. for girls P1, that's primary 1 to secondary 6. And the Boys Brigade anchors and juniors on Monday evening and the company on Friday evening. Guild meets on Thursdays, November the 7th, in the South Hall at 7 p.m. Speaker is our minister, the Reverend John McGregor, who will be speaking on the Guild theme, Sure Foundations. The Guild are having an extra informal meeting on Thursday, November the 14th in the South Halls at 7 p.m. Tickets for the Guild Coffee Morning on November the 30th are on sale from the coffee shop or a member of the committee, and it's £4 each. Springfield Cambridge Festival Choir. So there you have it. The box office for this year's concert is on Monday, December the 23rd at the Royal Concert Hall. Is on Wednesdays and Fridays at South Hall, 10 a.m. till 12 noon. The coffee shop will be open next Saturday, November the 9th, at 10 a.m. till 1 p.m. Advent Reflections starting on Wednesday, November the 20th in the South Hall Chapel, 11:30 a.m. till 12 noon. Laying of wreaths at the War Memorial. Sunday, November the 10th, parade leaves Cadder South Hall at 12:45 p.m. and service at 1 p.m. Short service, that is, at the War Memorial on Monday, November the 11th at 11 a.m. So there you have it. That's the church news for Kirkintilloch this week. Hope you managed to understand all my talk as well as my tongue twisters and making wee mistakes. But that's life, and that's me, and I'm live here on Q and Review. Thank you for listening, and may you have a good and God-blessed week.
Wednesday the 6th of November, District News General. Society of Antiquities. The next meeting of the Kirkintilloch and District Society of Antiquaries will be on Thursday, November the 7th at 7:30pm in the Park Centre, 45 Kerr Street, Kirkintilloch, where our Vice President, Ms Louise Nixon, will give a talk on the RNLI 200 Years of Saving Lives at Sea. Visitors welcome. Sweet Ruby needs a new home. Ruby is looking for a loving, calm, adult-only home where she can be the only pet. With her gentle nature and love for quiet surroundings, Ruby will thrive in a household that can provide her with a peaceful environment. She is fully house-trained and happy to be left alone for a few hours. Ruby loves to travel and enjoys car rides, making her a perfect companion for those who love new adventures. She will be a loyal and affectionate companion for the right family. If you think you could provide a home for Ruby, or any of the 40 dogs currently available for rehoming, please contact Dogs Trust West Calder on 01506 873 459. Holyrood View. Budget hits the vulnerable hardest by Rona Mackay MSP. The SNP Scottish Government only has a minority of MSPs in Parliament. For a budget or any new law to pass, cooperation and compromise between parties is required. The evidence that the cap is responsible for increasing poverty in Scotland is undeniable. It affects more than 87,000 children in this country, and the Resolution Foundation estimate that by as soon as April of next year, an additional 63,000 children throughout the UK will be harmed by this draconian measure brought in by the Tories back in 2017. Yet, Labour Chancellor Rachel Reeves could not find a single penny to help. Equally disheartening that, despite a huge public outcry, there was no mitigation for the cruel winter fuel payment cut for pensioners. Senior citizens forced to choose between heating and eating. This was not what my constituents were promised. The UK Labour government has said that after 14 years of Tory chaos, they cannot fix every problem. But with the cost of living crisis continuing to bite hard, why should the most vulnerable in our society, children and pensioners, take the hit? The SNP Scottish Government will continue to help where it can. Its Best Starts food payment is making a difference to the lives of young families in my constituency, with over £500,000 worth of payments made locally since 2019 to help ensure all children, regardless of background, have access to good quality, healthy food. On a more positive note, I have had a busy and productive month with my constituency. It was lovely to attend the 50th anniversary afternoon tea celebration of Kirkintilloch Sir Optimists in the Broadcloft Hotel. Amazing work being done locally and internationally by a community group of women passionate about equality. Local volunteers play a vital role in helping people in need. During Challenge Poverty Week, I was delighted to highlight their success. From the amazing volunteers at Eastern Bartonshire Food Bank to GRACE, supporting people in recovery from life trauma, and The Hive at Lennoxtown, a community space set up by local people for local people. It is right we celebrate and recognise the vital efforts local groups make. I am committed to supporting them. Contact details 0141 776 1561 or email rona.mackay.msp@parliament.scot. That's rona.mackay.msp @parliament.scot. And that was a Holyrood View by Rona Mackay MSP. And that brings to an end the District News section of the Kirkintilloch Herald.
Rossvale women on the shortlist. Now, this article was written by Brian Yule and it's being read by me, Corey. Rossvale women have been shortlisted in a number of categories for the Scottish Power Scottish Women's Football Awards. Over 1,000 nominations were received from the public and the winners will be announced at Hampden Park on November 30th. The awards celebrate success both on and off the field, from international players to volunteers at the grassroots level. Rossville has not only been recognised for winning the SWF Championship title, but also their efforts to grow the game in the local area. Megan Whiteford and Gemma McQuillan are up for Barclays Championship Player of the Year, alongside Claire Docherty of Ayr United and Brodie Rigby Wilson of East Fife. Sophie Ambrosini is shortlisted for Sports Scotland Youth Player of the Year, up against Laura Berry of Motherwell/Rangers, Jessica Husband of Heart of Midlothian, and Kira Siragenin of Ross County. Julie McSherry is in the running for Barclays Championship and League One Coach of the Year, with Jack Cameron of Steinhousemuir and Craig Porter of Ayr United. Mick Docherty faces competition from Paul Murray of Bayside, Stephen McLean of Jeanfield Swifts, and Ian McIver of Ross County to be Youth Coach of the Year. Rossville building a substantial youth pathway has seen them shortlisted for Scottish Power Substantial Club of the Year, with Armadale Thistle, Ross County, West Dyke. Among the other prizes is the Kat Lindner Award for Outstanding Athletic and Academic Achievement. It is named after the former Glasgow City player, honouring a player who has excelled both on and off the field. The shortlist is Celtic captain and accountant Kelly Clark, Rangers midfielder Tessel Middag, whose MA included research into recognition of women's football in Scotland in the 1970s, and Hamilton's Josephine Gaird, who combines medical research with being a diabetes ambassador. That article was written by Brian Yule, and it was read by me, Corey. Record fee payments issued to SWPL clubs. This article is unattributed, but it's being read by me, Corey. The second annual accounts for the Scottish Women's Premier League, SWPL, reveal record results for Women's League football. Figures show payments to clubs totalled £389,000, which is an increase of 70% on last year's fees. £304,000 of that figure was distributed through club fee payments, while the remaining £85,000 was distributed as prize money through the Sky Sports Club. Fiona McIntyre, SWPL Managing Director, said, "These record figures have been supported by key partnerships. The introduction of Scottish Power as title sponsors of the league has played a significant role in supporting the growth of the SWPL, and we are delighted they will remain principal partners and league title supporters over the next 2 seasons. Scottish Power took over from inaugural league sponsor Parks Motor Group, who also remain an important partner and supporter of the SWPL. Our broadcast partners, Sky Sports, BBC Alba and BBC Scotland, have collectively supported the financial growth and driven the increased visibility of the SWPL. This was also our first full season in partnership with Puma, which saw their Orbita becoming the official match ball, and for the first time, a bespoke SWPL match ball being designed and distributed to our clubs. These new and existing partnerships, alongside the appointment of our first partnership manager, ensured we've delivered excellent results for the 2023-2024 season and are in a strong position for the 2024-2025 and beyond." That article was unattributed, but it was read by me, Corey. Importance of school swimming. This article was written by Don Renton, and it's being read by me, Corey. Calls have been made for greater implementation of school swimming to ensure children are safer and confident in, on and around water. The Situational Analysis of School Swimming in Scotland report, published by Water Safety Scotland and Scottish Swimming, examines the outcomes of 3 national surveys and a mapping exercise carried out to assess the state of school swimming in Scotland. Carleen McAvoy, founder of Water Safety Scotland, said, "Any initiative that seeks to improve water safety education and equip children with the skills they need to be safe in and around water has to be a positive step towards the aims of Scotland's drowning prevention strategy. Our aim is to ensure a generational change to facilitate greater safety education and enjoyment in and around water." The report includes National School Swimming Landscape Survey in 2024, which found that 86% of local authorities provided school swimming for primary pupils. A more recent analysis since the survey showed that 6 local authorities are currently not delivering any provision. The type and extent of the provision varies widely across the country. The number of school swimming sessions delivered varied considerably from just 4 to 16, with an average number of 9 sessions, down from 11 in the previous landscape survey in 2022. The 2024 survey was that school swimming was most likely to occur at primary 4 or primary 5, but is sometimes delivered up to primary 7 age. Around the age of 8 years old is recommended for school swimming because children can go swimming independently at this age, and are less body conscious and have less anxiety around school swimming. Ewan Lowe, CEO of Scottish Swimming, said, "Scottish Swimming has a solution. We have developed a tried and tested national primary school swimming framework with Sport Scotland and supported by Scottish Water. What we need now is government investment and support to ensure national implementation of the framework across Scotland." The full report is available at watersaftyscotland.org.uk/practitioners-hub/education. That article was written by Don Renton and it was read by me, Corey. Crichton is delighted to be back at club she loves. This article was written by Brian Yule and it's being read by me, Corey. Leanne Crichton has returned to Glasgow City as the club's first team assistant coach following the departure of Scott Booth. The midfielder enjoyed 3 trophy-laden spells at City before moving to Motherwell in 2021 to take up a player/coach role. Having recently become a mum, Crichton decided it was the right time to rejoin her former teammate Leanne Ross at Petershill Park. She said, "I always felt I would at some point come back to Glasgow City because of the love that I have for the club, and I thought it was important that I went away and proved myself in a new environment. I had a fantastic time working alongside Paul Brownlee at Motherwell, and hopefully everyone saw what we were trying to achieve. A lot has changed in the last few months. I'm on the UEFA Pro Licence course, and I'm a new mum as well. For me, it was about finding that balance between family and football. Coming back to Glasgow City, I knew that they'd welcome and embrace my family, support me in being a mum, and also in becoming the best coach I can be. It's going to be a real buzz to work with Leanne. We were roommates with the national team and teammates at Glasgow City. We have always challenged each other, but there is always that respect between us and a shared work ethic to push for the very best. This is the first time that I will have had the opportunity to work at a fully professional side, and being involved in that day-to-day, working with a very talented group of players is super exciting too. I can't speak highly enough about the facilities, the resources that are being made available, and everything that is going on behind the scenes. To have the opportunity to come back to a club I love, to work with people I respect, and continue to go after success, it's certainly lit a spark. It was the Petershill Park Derby on Sunday in the SWPL1 as Glasgow City won 3-0 at home to Partick Thistle. A brace for Brenna Lovera put City in the driving seat before Wilma Forsblom added the third late on. City travelled to Celtic this Sunday in the quarter-finals of the Sky Sports Cup. Rossville women lost 1-0 away to Bournemouth Thistle in SWPL 2. That article was written by Brian Yule and it was read by me, Corey. WOS Cup shocks and shootouts are the order of the day. This article is unattributed, but it's being read by me, Corey. There are mixed fortunes in the second round of the WOS Cup, with penalty shootouts being very much the order of the day. Ashfield pulled off a shock as they travelled to WOS Premier Division side Cumnock Juniors. The First Division side won 6-5 on penalties following a 3-3 draw, with Kieran Finlay and Josh Moore on target before Lewis Brown was able to snatch a late equaliser. The decisive penalty was scored by Kane McFarlane to send Ashfield into the next round. Joining them is West Park United, who saw off fellow 4th Division side St Peters at home. United won 2-1 when the sides met in the league in September, and they came out on top again. The hosts twice led through Kyle McLachlan and Djalma Santos, only to be pegged back, but won through 4-2 on penalties. However, Kirkintilloch Rob Roy were the victims of a cup shock, as they lost 2-1 at home to Thrieve Rovers. The 3rd Division side had pushed Stranraer all the way into their Scottish Cup tie, and also claimed the scalp of Berwick Rangers. The visitors led 2-0 at the break, and although Jordan Perry managed to pull one back in the second half, it wasn't enough for the 1st Division outfit. Glasgow Perthshire were also knocked out as they travelled to Beath Juniors of the Premier League, but took it all the way to penalties. Shire led at half-time through a Davy Kirkwood penalty, but the home side equalised in the second period. The visitors had 2 men sent off, but the 3rd Division side were able to hang on for spot kicks. However, they lost out 5-4. Ashfield and United are now waiting for the 3rd round draw to take place. There was also a handful of league matches going on as Petershill drew 0-0 at home to Vale of Clyde in the 1st Division. Saturday fixtures. 1st Division. Kilwinning Rangers versus Petershill. Kirkintilloch Rob Roy versus Ardrossan Winter Rovers. Vale of Clyde versus Ashfield. 2nd Division. Caledonian Locomotive versus Muirkirk Juniors. 3rd Division. Greenock Juniors versus Glasgow Perthshire. 4th Division. Royal Albert versus Rossville. West Park United versus East Kilbride Thistle. That article was unattributed, but it was being read by me, Corey.
That concludes this week's edition of the Kirkintilloch Herald podcast. Please remember to subscribe to our channels at Kirn Review and to tell your friends about our service.